Next.
Hi, I'm Hollis Silverman.
And I'm Dr. Bruno.
And today we're going to be talking about anger. So I chose this topic today because I've been having a lot of clients come into my practice that have anger issues. There's just been a lot of anger going on.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stress in our society right now.
Absolutely. And so I felt that it was a good topic to talk about today. And so in first starting off with talking about anger, I want to talk about how you can first identify anger. Now, you have the physiological symptoms of anger that can be identified. So if somebody has irritability, if somebody has a rapid heart rate, if somebody is clenching their teeth, if somebody is sweating, if somebody
Pacing,
absolutely.
road rage,
things of that nature. That's going to be more physiological.
Yep.
And then you have the emotional, where there can be depression, anxiety, irritability,
frustration.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Actually, frustration is the precursor to anger.
Yes.
So I always tell my clients, like, if frustration is the mountain and anger is the cliff.
Yes.
So you're falling off of it. So if you can identify when you're frustrated, then you'll never get to anger. So, but how do you identify when you're frustrated?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you would go and, identify these physiological symptoms and then also these emotional symptoms. Knowing your triggers, I think, is going to be key to really identifying that frustration, as it kind of is creeping along.
So your triggers, and there can be like a person, a place, or a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Person, place, a thing, feelings.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Different feelings, yeah. And knowing, I always tell my clients, know thyself. So know yourself enough to know, what feelings trigger you, especially, rejection, fear, big one.
Unknown. I think that's a lot of what's going on. The cultural anger is not knowing what's going to happen or what's happening in other countries in relation to us.
Yeah, yeah. And those all trigger emotional responses that lead to that, that cliff, the cliff of anger, which we don't want to get to.
And also know thyself, what's your path. Some people lead off with a physiological response and some people lead off with an emotional response, and they all lead to the same end.
Yeah, absolutely. Because some people are going to keep their feelings more internalized. That anger, it's going to stay there, and then some people are more external with their anger. So also, Dr. Bruno, how do you know when anger becomes problematic?
Well, when it interferes with your daily life, as we would say,
yes.
Or your interpersonal relationships, or your financial health, or even your physical health. Because if you have so much anger, you could get yourself sick.
Absolutely. If it starts to impede, on an everyday basis, and you're just getting very irritable, or you're noticing that you're even having fits of rages, that's when I would say that anger is becoming a big problem.
So what do you do about it?
So I always say, in what we've been saying, know thyself, know what your triggers are. So if you see a certain person and you start to get angry, you're going to know, okay, this person is triggering me right now. What are things that I can do to kind of help diffuse this anger? So adaptive coping skills, healthy coping skills, maybe going for a run, if you can do that, breathing therapy always helps. Meditation, yoga, eating some chocolate, not lots, but a little bit.
Avoiding the situation is not always the bad thing to do.
Yeah, it's really healthy, absolutely. Any kind of distraction that you can do, whether you can maybe do math problems, as silly as it sounds.
Sudoku.
Sudoku. Yes. Crossword puzzles. You can punch a pillow. There's a pillow readily available when you're at home. Go punch a pillow.
Primal scream therapy.
Yes, scream therapy.
I tell my clients to get a bucket full of ice and throw it at a wall. You'll get some colorful looks, but it really does expel your anger.
What about Guitar Hero?
Nah. the drum portion.
The
so
drum
so
part.
it's like beating up a person. You're just displacing the anger onto the drum set.
I just love that one. There's so many ways that you can let out your anger in a healthy way, and you want to be very careful about letting out your anger, obviously in a hostile or volatile way, where that could get you in trouble with whether it's work, your interpersonal relationships, intrapersonal relationships. You want to be mindful of that. So if you feel like that you're having a problem, that's when I would actually seek additional help by calling a therapist.
And I guess we really want you also to know that anger is not bad.
Yes.
Anger is a signal that something's wrong, so it shouldn't be ignored. And there are good ways of dispelling your, releasing your anger, whether it's getting into therapy or any other way that we've discussed, or any creative way which to be effective for you. So it shouldn't necessarily be ignored completely. Don't ignore it. It's a vital part of your emotional complexity, and you need to address it and move forward.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm Hala Silverman.
I'm Dr. Bruno.
Bye.